Hi, I'm Ian Hemphill, otherwise known as Herbie, and I'm going to talk to you today about the bay tree. You've probably heard of a poet laureate, and that is because a laurel of bay leaves used to be given to people who performed wonderful feats. At the end of chariot races, the guy who won the chariot race would be crowned with a laurel of bay leaves. And this is why this particular tree is referred to as the bay laurel, and its botanical name is the Laurus nobilis. It's quite a wonderful tree, and bay leaves are used extensively in cooking. There's hardly, especially a European recipe, that you will see that doesn't include bay leaves in some part of that recipe. Bay trees are quite easy to grow. Something you will notice about them is that they're a tree that likes a little bit of company. I've noticed that if a bay tree is planted out on its own, away from other trees, without any shelter, it won't grow terribly well. But you get a tree like this one that's growing against a north-facing wall and it's protected from wind. It's a very happy tree indeed. One of the things you have to be careful of when you're growing bay trees is that they are a little bit prone to white wax, which is a little insect that makes a little white waxy blob on the leaf, and you get this quite a lot on citrus trees as well. It can be quite easily treated by spraying the tree with an organic oil, which will help to prevent that little insect from contaminating the tree and making the leaves go black. Bay leaves are also very easy to dry. If you pick a nice big sprig of bay leaves, you can hang them up in a dark, well-aired place. After a period of around about a week, depending upon the climatic conditions at the time, but ideally you like low humidity and fairly warm weather, you will find that the leaves will dry, they'll become quite crisp and very fragrant. Now, many recipes you have noticed will say to add a bay leaf, and they'll sometimes even say add a dried bay leaf. But then you've heard a lot of chefs rabbiting on and saying that they only ever like to use fresh herbs. Something to remember about bay leaves is that there is a difference in flavour between a fresh bay leaf and a dried bay leaf. We'll usually use a fresh bay leaf in a dish which may not be cooked for quite so long, or with slightly more delicate flavours, maybe with seafood. But we will mostly use dried bay leaves because when a bay leaf is dried, the flavour infuses readily into the dish that you're cooking. I have noticed as well that when a bay leaf is dried, a little bit of a bitter note that is there in the fresh seems to disappear. So I've found the dried ones a lot more convenient to use. And as I said, you can dry them very easily yourself. A bay leaf is the classic ingredient in a bouquet garni. Now, you've probably heard of a bouquet garni. It simply means a bunch of herbs. It's usually a combination of thyme, sage, marjoram. It will have some bay leaves and maybe even a little bit of oregano and some parsley. These will be tied together in a bunch and then put into the dish while it's cooking. And at the end of cooking, the bouquet garni is taken out. So bay leaf forms a very important part of that. You'll also sometimes find bay leaves in a standard mixed herbs. Thyme, sage, marjoram is a very traditional mixed herbs. Very often you'll find bay leaf added to that as well. When you're growing a bay tree, you may sometimes notice that you get a tiny little black berry forming on the tree. Now, that little hard berry that forms on the bay tree should not be eaten because it does have a mild toxicity and is not good for you. But the leaves are perfectly okay. But do make sure that you're using the right variety of bay tree, the Laurus nobilis, because there are many varieties of laurel that are inedible. So make sure you get the right one. Once you're familiar with the aroma and the taste of a bay leaf, you will never be fooled. You'll always know what it is. If you want any more information about herbs and spices, please go to our website, which is www.herbies.com.au. You can buy all our herbs and spices online. You will find lots of information there. You will even see a picture of our very special premium bay leaves, which are bay leaves that we have harvested from this tree, we've dried ourselves, and the aroma and the flavour of them is absolutely heavenly. And because we always like to demystify herbs and spices and help people feel familiar using them, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. We're only too pleased to help. So Until I talk to you next time about herbs and spices, enjoy your cooking and enjoy your herbs and spices.